Okay, Judy, we're talking about examples of phrases that use all three of those elements we were talking about before. So, neighbor notes, passing tones, and leaps. And the way, let me see if I can do this. The way we're going to do this, the way we're going to employ all these is, up to now we've been isolating each one and talking about them. We mixed a little bit of the neighbor notes and the passing tones together, but then we started working on leaps, and I think this will make leaps make a little bit more sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on this note F, okay, and I want you to play the neighbor note below it, which is the E, and come back to F. Right then, that E is a neighbor note. It's below the F, okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is go up to the G, which is the neighbor note above F. So we're going to go F, G, F. Okay? And now the next thing we're going to do is start on F and go through the G as a passing tone this time and up to A. Okay, so three things we did. We have an F, a neighbor note E, back to F. Next thing is going to be F with a neighbor note G, back to F. And then we're going to move through the G this time to get to the A. Okay, now the piece of paper I gave you has it written in music notation and then right underneath it written in tab as well. But when you finish this line off, you actually can make a leap happen by going below the F to the E again. Okay, so you're all the way up here on this A, and we're trying to get back down to this F. And I may not have made this clear. That first line I had, that number one exercise, is a repeat, okay? So it may have been a little bit clearer if I'd written it out as one long line, but basically you're playing this line, F, E, F, G, F, G, A, E, F. When you went back down from A to E, F, that's an example of your leap. Remember, we're going to go down from way up here on this A to the F, okay? But a really strong leap goes below the note you're going towards and then resolves in the opposite direction. Okay? So you went from A and went underneath the F from the E and resolves up to the F. So if I play that first line a couple times, it'll sound like this. And then I think you actually want to end on an F if you can there. So basically you've got a couple of notes behaving two totally different ways. You've got, in the first measure, the E is a neighbor note. But in the last measure, the E is part of the leap. On the second measure there, that G is a neighbor note. But on the third measure, that G is a passing tone. So remember, we're trying to get to the point where we don't have to think about these things too much, but they just sort of happen. I think, though, if you have a couple of these phrases that employ all these things, it'll make a little bit more sense. That meaning, I'm not going to have you're not going to think too much about it. You're not going to think, here's a neighbor note, here's a passing tone. You're just going to do it. But if we talk about them, then we'll be using these terms. Okay? So you just would do that over and over and over again. You can do it to a jam track. And yeah, let's move on. So the second exercise is going to be, so you're going to start on C. Okay? And we're going to go a neighbor note below it again. We're going to go to B flat. Okay? And this time we're going to go above it. The second measure goes above it to D and back down to C. So you got two neighbor notes we've just done. Starting from the beginning of that line, C, B flat, C, and then above it, neighbor note D, back down to C. Because all we've done is play a bunch of C's here, and we've embellished it by playing the notes above and below it. Okay? Third part of the measure there, we actually use that B flat this time to go through to the A. Okay, so it's a passing tone. Starting on that C on the third measure, we played C, B flat, A. Okay? And then we've got a leap. Now remember, we're going to go, in order to repeat this line, we're trying to go from this A to the C. Okay, now an easy way would have just been use the passing tone and go back up. A, B flat, C, but I want to make a stronger leap. Okay, I'm going to go from the A to the C, but I want to go above the C and resolve in the opposite direction. We're on A. I'm going to go above the C to the D and resolve to C. Okay, one more time. Here's A, and we're trying to get to C, but I'm going to go above it to D and resolve to C. And that brings you back, after you repeat it, to the beginning of that same line. So it sounds like this: C, B flat C, D C, B flat A, D C. Okay? I'm going to play it without me talking over it. Once again, I actually want to land on that C. It'll sound better if you land on the C afterwards. So think about this. On the first exercise, we started on F, and I just wanted to be able to go somewhere a little higher and then leap back down to where I came from, instead of playing up and coming back down like you're playing a scale. Okay? So in this case, we're playing neighbor notes and passing tones to embellish the note that we start on and to get to another note. But instead of going back down the way we came, I leap to get back to where we came from. Okay? And that's why you can repeat that and it sounds cool. On the second one, same basic idea. You got a C we're starting off with. You play the neighbor notes above and below it, embellishes that C that's part of the chord. We move through a passing tone to get to another note, A, which is in the chord. And then just to make it more interesting, we're going to leap above it and land back on the note we started on. Okay? But think about this. If we're on any note and that's in the chord and embellishing it in this way, we can go to any other note in the chord by leaping above or below it and end up doing another line just like we just did. So hopefully that makes a little more sense after you've done this a couple times. I think in the interest of time I should probably do just these two this week and get you your other exercises to you. But if you like this, this is in the direction that we're going for sure. So yeah, I'll see you on the other side of this thing.